Hello, good day, beautiful people. I am the Inspirational Lady Noble 365 Tarot. Welcome to my channel. I greatly appreciate you being here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I trust you'll love this vibe. And everything you need to know about me is in the description below. This could be past, present, or future. You or someone around you. So take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. This is a general read. This is not a personal read. If you like a personal read, check out the description below, and I'll be happy to assist you with doing so. Keep in mind that tarot is a tool. It is not the final rule. So it is a good idea to have an empty when you are on Lady Noble's channel and you really want to see what's up. All are welcome on this channel and all contributions are highly appreciated. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your kindness. And I hope you all are doing wonderful. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, okay? We're starting off with the energy of Benai, okay? And Benai represents the left eye, which represents knowledge. And we're going to read from the book here, okay? The Benai represents the left eye knowledge, the third Sephra, through which light flows into the world like water. A small candle illuminates both itself and others. A small candle illuminates both itself and others. She seeks not only the power to create, but the very motive force of creation. She seeks not only the power to create, but the very motive force of creation. She is white, lighting the path ahead. She resides in learning, sharing expressions, and creation. And so the left eye, Benai, represents knowledge, represents experiencing knowledge, gaining knowledge, and also being able to share what you have learned, what you have created from what you have observed. We are all here on planet Earth to learn and to grow from different events that we experience here in life, as I always remind the collective. And this energy here, Benai, the left eye knowledge, is reminding us that we are all here learning and experiencing life in different ways and different forms. But we are residing along with many other people who are on their own mission. And just as well as the path is being lit for you, the path is always and also being lit for others who are around you. Now, having the ability to tap in and to acknowledge that one is not alone, and I've been speaking on this recently, the idea of feeling that you are alone, saying that you are alone. None of us are alone. We all are being watched, monitored, and accounted for. Does not matter what your belief system is, okay? And to keep in mind that if you are on a mission or somewhere in your life where you feel uncertain regarding your path, uncertain about something you are learning, or maybe you're in a new area, maybe you're on a new job, you could be maybe you've recently got hired, on a new job, and this could be work that you've never done before. But the mere fact that you were called for an interview and chosen to be the candidate that they're going to hire means and represents that you belong in that position, and for you not to feel inferior whenever you come up against any. You could be someone who's new to a family, maybe you're just now meeting your in-laws, and maybe you could be anxious or nervous about being around, your in-laws, or being new to a family setting, or new to a group, new to an organization. This could be socially as well. And so Spirit is clearly saying that the path is being lit for you. You need not to be in fear or be afraid. Everyone has a first time of doing, being, thinking, or existing in one way or another. Experiences that we learn, sharing your experiences, is also, you can pick and choose, but it's also a part of the mission and path for some, maybe not for all, but for some, and the creation, the whole idea of learning about your existence, of why you are here, who you are, where you are, and therefore you'll be able to understand full circle what is taking place. Knowing what your purpose is, knowing who you are. Everyone will not experience an awakening Everyone will not choose to go into self awareness, and that's okay. Some people will get it next lifetime, and that doesn't mean that they're less than. That doesn't mean that they're a terrible person. It just means that this lifetime, they just won't get it. They won't have their breakthrough moment. They won't have their awakening. Okay. And so, Spirit wants you to keep that in mind, that you're never alone. If you're feeling that you're facing something that you could be new to. Okay. And so, as we have Benai, the left eye knowledge, we also have Benai from the Kabbalah deck here. And this is the Three of Swords energy. And this Three of Swords energy, in regular tarot, it represents, going through some kind of pain, going through some kind of heartache. But with Benai here, in the Kabbalistic deck, they're speaking of, yes, you may go through circumstances that you feel are unfavorable, unfair, unjust, but there is a way for you to overcome. Keep in mind, I say it repetitively, but it is truth and fact. We are all here to learn and here to grow. The things we are endure is not to hurt us. It's not for us to internalize it and feel or think that we are not loved, or we're not worthy of living the life that we desire. So just because you experience heartache, devastation, mistreatment, maybe a loss of a loved one, maybe being homeless, jobless. This could be many things. You can still overcome. You can learn from those experiences of pain and choose to transmute it. And one way to transmute is find the light in the situation, the lesson to be learned, and find a way not to repeat it. And moving forward, you can carry that experience with you of how you overcame your past hardship or any pain in the past that you have endured. And so clearly here, Spirit is saying, yes, we will go through heartache. We will have moments that are unfavorable, relationships, family members may hurt you, disappoint you. Maybe your children may hurt you or disappoint you. Maybe you may be on the job and you feel you're being mistreated or they're not being fair. Maybe the schedule is supposed to be rotated and it's not being rotated, or you request time off, you feel you're being ignored. This could be many things, but it is possible to heal and overcome and transmute that energy. Okay, the Kabbalistic deck represents the tree of life. Okay, and there's a lot to learn. And there's a lot of levels, when it comes to the tree of life, when it comes to knowing thyself, having an awakening. You will have several awakenings in your life. You will have several moments of ascensions in your life. The ups and the downs, that you will experience. It's part of learning who you are. You'll have those moments, where you're here, then you're there, then you're here, then you're there. But it's to empower you. This energy here, I was going to do a whole different total read, and Benai popped out, and then I started shuffling the other deck, and then this popped out, and I said, well, this is nothing but confirmation. Spirit wants me to just speak on these two cards here. There's someone who's going through some kind of challenging time. You feel like you're new. I don't know if you're new to a job, you're new to a group, maybe a community even. Maybe you're new to your church, okay? But you don't feel comfortable. You feel uneasy. Maybe you feel the people are looking at you funny, and Spirit is saying, be mindful of assuming. Be mindful of your assumptions, because a lot of times that can be the ego trying to talk you out of moving forward. So be careful with that, collective. Don't allow your ego, because the new energy that you're in, the new environment that you are in, excuse me, is unfamiliar. So you don't want to be tricked out of your blessing. You don't want to be tricked out of your spot, out of your favor, out of your opportunity, because what you are experiencing is new. It's foreign to you. You're like a baby taking his first steps. It's exciting, but at the same time, you may feel a little nervous, and that's normal. There's nothing wrong with that. So don't allow your ego to talk you out of not moving forward, or to make you say, "Oh, I'm not going to take that job. I'm not used to wearing suits every day. I don't want to wear a suit every day." I'm just using that as an example or an analogy. Don't allow the ego to talk you out of your greatness. Okay, it's just discomfort is there for a reason, but it doesn't mean that you're in the wrong career field, or you're in the wrong area, or you don't belong. And don't feel that everyone is after you or trying to attack you. When the ego is at play, the old you, I call it the residue do. It sees and knows that you're walking forward, but there's an energy that wants to pull you backwards. And that's because the territory is new, it is foreign, it's unfamiliar. So it'll try to persuade you to go back into your comfort zone. This could even be with relationships. Maybe you're someone who has severed ties from someone because you just no longer felt comfortable being there. You no longer felt appreciated. So you've chosen to move forward. And this could be a connection that you may have been in for many years, and you're even shocked that you've chose to separate, but now that you're no longer in contact with that person, it could be requiring you to be more independent. It could be requiring you to where maybe you didn't work, but now you have to work, or maybe you have to get an extra job, or maybe now you have to be more considerate of how you're circulating your money, your cash. It's causing you to be more responsible and take more action in your life. But that doesn't mean that this is the time for you to go back to what was hurting you, or what was not for your highest good. Don't allow the ego to talk you out of greatness, out of being comfortable and being happy and fulfilled in your life. That nervousness, that anxiousness that you feel, it will dissipate, but you have to keep moving forward and let no one or nothing make you feel like you don't belong. And I'm picking up that someone has started a new job, and maybe you haven't worked in a while, or maybe there's a difference in age versus you and the people around you. It doesn't matter. Spirit is saying the mere fact that you were called for the interview and you were chosen to be hired, that means that that job is for you. And if you're someone who needs that employment, by all means, go ahead and work that job. Be grateful and be thankful and trust to believe you do belong there. Okay, so let that anxiety or any tension within you, collective, let it inspire you. Yes, you've been through some pain, you've been through some hardships, but it doesn't mean that you have to stay there. It doesn't mean that you can only be invited to situations where there's doom and gloom. It doesn't mean that you're not entitled to a breakthrough. You are entitled to living your best life. You owe it to yourself to give yourself the opportunity. Okay, so there is healing possible from the energy of the Three of Swords. So do not be discouraged. Make sure that you're staying encouraged to give yourself nothing less than the best, and make sure that you're finding the light in all situations, and finding a way to not repeat them as you move forward. That is one of the goals while we're here on planet Earth. Doesn't matter who you are or where you're from, is to learn the lesson and to move forward to the next one and to the next one until we perish from our avatar, which is this flesh, this skin suit that we wear, and we transition up out of here. That is one of the main goals. Okay. So don't allow anyone to make you feel uncomfortable. And for someone, no, you may feel people are staring at you. It's something about people looking at you or staring at you, and they may be watching because they admire what they see. It may not be as negative as you may be assuming. You may think maybe they're talking about you or making fun of you, but it's not what you think. Spirit is saying someone could be admiring the shoes you're wearing, or maybe you look nice in your clothing, or just as well as you may be nervous in an environment, the person staring at you may just want to get to know you and just talk to you, but sometimes people don't know how to approach. It's not because something you're doing, it's just the energy. Okay. So we all are, and everything around us is all energy. And you're not the only one, collective, who have days where you don't feel comfortable in your own skin, or you show up to somewhere that is new to you that you've never experienced, and everything just feels odd. That is normal. And that is also confirmation that you have chosen to move forward and try something new. So stay encouraged.